Hello, everyone. Welcome to our weekly discussion series that's hosted by the Chaldean Cultural Center in collaboration with the University of Michigan, Detroit Center, Unique Voices in Films, and CMN TV. Today, our guest is Lamar Babi. He's a Chaldean American actor. Hi, welcome, Lamar.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm busy, and so are you these days, I see.
Yeah, very.
Involved in several projects, and I know you have your sister's wedding today. So thank you for making the time to come on
Yeah,
and share your information about your career as an actor.
thank you. Yeah, it's an
So
exciting day.
Mark, you were born in San Diego, California, and raised in
hmm
Detroit, Michigan.
Yeah.
So what? How much of time have you spent in Michigan versus San Diego? I know you've gone back and forth.
So I was born in San Diego. I have a big family, six of us, six kids, and half of us were born in Michigan, and then we moved to San Diego. My family moved to San Diego, and myself and my younger sisters, who are twins, were born in San Diego. We lived there until about 93 or something. And so I was about 7 years old, and then grew up in West Bloomfield and spent the next 20 years there. And then I moved to LA, pursue an acting career out there. So the majority of my life has been in Michigan in West Bloomfield, and I love it here.
So did you feel you moving to LA, did you feel it was necessary as an actor to move there to find jobs and roles?
Yeah, definitely. Whether it was New York or LA, I had already gotten my SAG card in Detroit. I did a lot of independent films, short films, commercials, print work, whatever it might have been. I think it kind of just hit the limit of what, the Detroit market would have to offer me, or what I would learn as an artist and from the business of it and all of those capacities. So it was important for me to make that decision, even though it's not like the most common thing in our culture to go move out and just go move on your own, and make that jump, because you have to see what life has to offer you with if you're really serious about a career, right?
Yeah, and how did you start? How was your interest in that career? When did it start?
So I grew up like a big sports guy, still am, and played basketball throughout high school, throughout my whole life, still do. And it's honestly just happened by chance. It was a pretty interesting, fun, kind of story. Just I was I was at Brother Rice. I was playing basketball over there. I was the neighboring schools with Brother Rice and Marion, the two schools. One's an all guys school, one's an all girls school. And I had been used to public school my whole life. And I ended up going to Brother Rice, and someone was like, "Hey, there's this drama class that you can take at Marion." I was like, "Wait, I can go to that class?" And that sounds, I can see girls 1 hour a day. Okay, I'm okay with that. Plus, it sounded like a really interesting, cool thing. I love movies, like, to my core. I can get into why it became an actor and what really drew me to it. There's a lot of definitely wonderful reasons behind that, and I just love movies, love this artistic storytelling and the lessons you can learn from it. And so I was like, oh man, I've always loved acting and movies. Let me go try this. Plus, I get to go be around girls 1 hour a day. Thank God, and so it was a really great experience. My the teacher there, Mrs. Smella, will always stay in my heart. God rest her soul. She passed away many years ago. But in between my junior and senior year of high school, I was a young kid, and my basketball career, I had scholarship offers from colleges even after my junior year. But things didn't work out to play my senior year, or it was going to be very challenging from a few different perspectives. And so the teacher that was the drama teacher enjoyed me having me in her class, thought I was talented, and asked me to just, audition for you should audition for the plays. And I was like, listen, that's going to get in the way of basketball. So I had to make a decision. And, we all make decisions in our lives, and kind of gave up basketball at that point and auditioned for these plays and got the leads in the high school plays, the story. But doesn't seem like a big deal now, but at the time it was pretty cool, and really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed this art of storytelling, being on stage, and just having the camaraderie as well of a cast and crew, etc. That led to me, having to balance, being Chaldean and having this entrepreneurial business mindset, and also having this artistic part of myself. So when I got to college and I was majoring in finance, I also basically minored in theater, and any chance I got, I took theater classes, auditioned for the plays at Wayne State, and ended up doing a couple of plays for their undergrad repertory, theater, or for their theater program, and went from there and just kept on, auditioning, getting roles, getting my SAG card, and all that. So it was, it just happened by chance,
So do you feel, you mentioned that, it is true that in our community, this is not something that's easily, that when we choose arts and culture to focus on that, sometimes there isn't really that support, or it seems like so much of a hobby, then sometimes people don't take it too seriously.
To me,
yeah. What was that a challenge with regards to the community, how they viewed, or family, or anything like that?
I've always gotten a lot of love and support from my family. I think any kickback from my family or any family within our community it comes down to a couple of things. For me, it's like it seems like our community I love it. I love our community, and it wants its sons and daughters to be stable, to make sure that they have something to fall back on, and our parents just want the best for us.
Yeah, it comes from a place of love. Like they don't want, like, in the future, that we're like broke or something like that.
Yeah.
They want to make sure that we have a nice future. So it comes from a place of love, but
it all comes from a place of love. And so it's one of those things where, as in our own lives, we have to, I realize, thank God, I think I have a wonderfully supportive and beautiful family. So it's like, I realized even back then that, it was like, okay, I just have to make this decision on my own. And, they're gonna support me because they love me, and they're gonna want the best for me. But I mean, they have, when you look back on it, they have a point, like you go there and, it's not like this tight-knit community that we have over here. You're on your own, and you start to build your own sort of community within the arts and within the city of great people. But it's not like that built-in sub network, so to say, where it's like, any type of thing that you might need is only like a couple of degrees of separation within our community,
Right.
So but it's beautiful. I recommend anyone, if you really have a passion for something, go do it. Plan for it, be smart about it. You can still have a second career, in my opinion, if you do something that allows for your time to be free. But if you want to be able to support and still pursue an artistic career. But that being said, I have no regrets. I loved every moment being out there.
Yeah, well, I like the attitude that you didn't use anybody to like hold you back, and you haven't used anything to put a blame on. You just kind of are very realistic about the situation and committed, and then creating that balance is challenging. But really what I've been finding out over the years, like the more I get involved in my work, I just realize this is really just the way it works best, from even people that have regular acting roles and everything. They still have that second job, and it's usually like a company that they have, or whatever they do, they make it work, or even if they teach at a university or something like that. So sometimes I think it creates stability within the person. As an actor, then or any creative person, you're not kind of sitting there waiting, you're not waiting for something to come in order to, like, you have income coming in, and that kind of settles things down. So and so interestingly though, you came back to Detroit and now when you're here, you have this role that I was introduced to you by Father Andrew. Because he knew I was working on a feature film, and he said, oh, I know this.
Props to Father Andrew. What up, Father Andrew?
Yes, thank you. And he's great at connecting people. So it's like, it's no surprise, because he's connected me to so many creative people, and he really, really appreciates the arts. This is what he understands it. Like, he understands, I almost feel like, even, he's a priest, but he understands the struggle, and he understands what we're trying to do, even when he's not in it, and
priests or not, they're all everyone's people, and they all had to have, their own unique look on life and abilities to give to their community and to their flock and to the world. So.
Yeah, there's like a certain thing that's, their heart, each person, and there's a certain thing that they understand. And in his case, when he introduced me, it was good that you had, I knew you were going back and forth, but when we auditioned you, it was really perfect, because it was the role fit, the role of Matthew was so suitable for you. And then you had all the background acting from being in, bigger things, that going to LA and having that experience. So it shows when you are on the set and the way people take instructions. So sometimes when you prepare yourself in life and do these things and kind of get involved, and you even had you're part of SAG, it just shows that when the opportunity comes, it's easier for everybody involved. And we could sense it, myself and the casting director. But I wanted to ask you, I know that when we approached you and you read the script, what was it about it that made you feel like, this is something that you wanted to work on? Was it the character? Was it the story? Was it the combination of the two? What was it that kind of, brought you on? And also, I mean, you played the character so well when you were auditioning. How did you feel about the whole process?
I thought it was a wonderful story. Obviously kudos to you on that. It's a beautifully balanced story that isn't, trying to be super controversial or this or that. It's a beautiful story about, lives intertwining, growth for the main character, and my character kind of, what drew me to him and was able to help me understand how to play him is that, I can be extroverted and, this smile or all that, etc. But at the end of the day, when you put me in front of the people I love the most, or the times where, you really, I'm infatuated with someone, some parts of those introverted parts of me comes out, and I can relate to Matthew in the sense of how, when he's just, really intrigued by and kind of by her and
by the main character. So you're the neighbor, and the thing, like, I felt like there was so much divine influence in this whole process, because when we were casting, we were just looking for good actors. That was our thing, that were the right for the character. But what was beautiful about the whole process is that, there's a Chaldean family that lives across a non-Chaldean family of a Muslim family.
Yeah.
And when we were casting, the perfect actors happened to be representing
Yeah.
the families that they were from. I thought that was so beautiful because really it's like, so you're acting, but really it's also part of who we are. You're presenting something that is part of our reality. And
Yeah.
I just felt like it created more authenticity. So about the story overall, So did you feel like playing a Chaldean and with a Chaldean family, what did that mean to you? And like, how has the Chaldean influence been in your life as an actor, but just overall, like, how would you like it seen, maybe, even in films or portrayed in books, or, you know what I mean? Like, for me, I always kind of felt like we didn't have a part in the story, not even just, just even as Iraqis. And it was very important that I deliver authentic stories because there was so much stereotype. And aside from the stereotype, there was a need for our voices to be heard. So that was why it's like I was always pushing for those stories and writing those books. So for you, how did you feel about that, being a Chaldean, seeing what the films out there are that were presented to you, now being part of a Chaldean American, Iraqi American film? All of these dynamics, how I know these are a lot of questions, but I know what the heart of what I'm asking is.
Yeah. So for me, I think it's fairly simple. One, it's such a blessing to be able to play a Chaldean in a movie that's representing Chaldeans. I mean, I wouldn't have in my wildest dreams thought that I would have unless I made something myself, So it's very, very cool to be able to play a Chaldean and draw just on my own influences and draw deep from there. And then being Chaldean in general, to touch on the second part, I love it. I mean, I love our community. I love our culture. I'm very faith. I know Chaldeans is, you like in the movie, you have Mary statue right outside. My faith is extremely important to me. I served in church at St. Thomas for like 8 years as like the head server over there. I was, even when I was in LA, it was important for me to make it to church every Sunday, rain, shine, whether, we're talking outside or inside our heart, whatever's going on, it's always been important. So, I mean, I love our community. I love, being Chaldean. It's a blessing, whatever, all the good things, the bad things, it's really cool. And it's influenced me in a lot of ways, as an actor too. It's, whether I was auditioning or living in LA, and doing projects over there, it's one of those things where the roots, and I can only give credit to my family there, my parents, starting with them, and my brothers, my sisters, etc., my friends, that have kind of held these roots in check. And whether I was 3,000 miles away or not, you kind of what you see right now is the same Lamar that was before I moved to LA. So it's one of those things where it hasn't changed in that capacity,
Like they keep you grounded. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So given that you have gone to LA and given your interest in acting and your appreciation for storytelling, why would storytelling be important? I know that, sometimes this is an area that's not as understood or appreciated as much, or the power of storytelling is not really understood or valued enough. How do you feel that storytelling would enhance, not just with regards to, I mean, we know how it has many, many communities.
Right.
People from different communities have used storytelling to really let others, the world, know who they are. How do you feel, or what would you like to say with regards to how our community can enhance or utilize, maybe that's a better word, to utilize storytelling in order, to preserve and to share our stories with the world?
Yeah. I mean, I moved back to Detroit, West Bloomfield, from living in LA, to kind of go towards building stability and other aspects of my life, and maybe find someone and get married and all that stuff. But at the same time, what I was building out there was part of what you're saying. I mean, I've been working avidly on 2 different TV projects. For one of them is actually a Chaldean-based story that's written by a good friend of mine who is also an extremely talented writer named Lamar Babi, and he's also Chaldean as well. Cool story on how we even met, but he's an extremely talented writer. Won the Nichols Award recently for as a writer.
Wow.
Yeah, he won it for.
I need to have him on here one day then too.
Yeah, for sure. And we wrote a cool TV story, a TV show that kind of encapsulates, the story that isn't, pushing Chaldean down anyone's throat, because I don't believe that's the best way to have a story about any culture told. You want to have it told in a fun way. Like, you have The Rock's new show, it's who much knows about his culture, but it's introducing it in like a cool comedy family way. And that's kind of one of the influences, we kind of have over here is, it's, without like talking about the story too much, it kind of, encapsulates family, encapsulates being Chaldean, encapsulates, moving away and living and acting and having a family, and, all these different things that, the Chaldean part of it, puts such a unique spin on it that the world, I'm sure would gravitate to, even though we're a small community. And when the story is done right, it's a really beautiful thing. And even the other TV project that I'm been developing as well is a TV project based in the video game world. And whether the character is Chaldean or not in that, which he might be, just stamping our name, even from an executive producer standpoint, or acting in it, and then whether the character is that or not, it's anything that we can do to kind of create things that tell a great story. I think it enhances our culture, and enhances, because we have a beautiful culture. We have people in the arts, we have people in every aspect of life, and we're a very extremely hardworking community. And I think if all of our, all my parents and all of the Chaldean immigrants would have immigrated to LA, then there would have been a lot of us in the film community already, But because it's based on how hard we all work, and the way kind of we're hardwired. So who knows what will happen with my project, but for me, it's all, you realize when you're building an acting career, that the only way to tell these authentic stories and to have something that's really going to be true to you is to do something yourself. You can't count on someone else to kind of say, hey, yeah, I think Chaldeans are really cool, but I don't know who the heck they are, because they're only based in Detroit and San Diego, and I've never heard of them. But hey, yeah. So, because 95% of people I meet have never even heard of what a Chaldean is. So, which is kind of cool. I love that about LA. I mean, I got to meet the most diverse place I ever lived, and I'll probably ever live. And that to me is a blessing. You get to meet people from all walks of life, and you see people that have great hearts and are just good people through and through, no matter what they are, what they believe, or what they do. So, you know, and introducing, and then to tie it all in, introducing that in a story as a Chaldean, and if it's playing a Chaldean or a Chaldean based story, can only enhance, you know, what that outlook is on who we are, you know, because we're a multifaceted culture with, you know, layers as well.
Yes, exactly. There's like diversity within the diversity within the diversity, you know, so there's
Totally.
I liked what you said with regards to having us in the arts and culture doesn't necessarily mean that we're kind of just like, it's all about the Chaldean side, but it's not like that. Like, it's just being able to be authentic and truthful about the stories. And, you know, rather than having others describe us, or in our case, like a lot of people don't even know that we exist. So it kind of just,
right.
like, well, we do exist, and we do have a lot of creativity, and we have abundance of stories. And most of our stories are not focused on anything being Chaldean. It's just focused on love, family, faith, and whatever other communities intermingle with that. And, you know, we're very, I think because we so believe in community as well, that we embrace the people around us, like I do anyways, and most of the people that I deal with, they're about community, and they like to take care of each other. We grew up kind of tribal in that way. I know tribal sometimes doesn't have, there's only a certain image of it, but tribal really just means taking care of whoever is near you and whoever you can, just to make sure that everybody is taken well care of and everybody's safe.
Right.
Yeah, so, but so I'm very happy that we have people like yourself and like your friend, who, like I said, I would love to have on the show as well, and hear about his story and his journey, because you're opening the way and you're becoming examples. And the Chaldeans or Iraqis or Middle Easterners or anybody from any background that they feel that they don't have a space, I think your example is what you're saying is like, you pursued what you wanted, you found a way to balance it out, you kept going, and then you are opening doors, you keep going at it, you're opening doors for voices that need to be heard, you know,
Right.
whether it's as an actor using a different somebody else's story, or either as a storyteller yourself. So thank you for committing to that, you know, really.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, thank you for committing to that. And so any last words that you want to share with our audience? We just have like a few minutes left. And is there anything in the future that you're working on, or your hand is, you know, your hands are pretty full right now, it seems like, but any last words that you want to share before we go?
No, I was already talked about the couple projects that I have kind of working on, but no, I think you know, what you're doing is great right here. To, you know, put a light on artistic voices in the community is really wonderful. And then, you know, I guess to me, the most important thing I can kind of say is when it comes to a lot of artists that I meet within our community is, hey, pursue it. You know, don't fret, don't get down just because, you know, our parents didn't come from our parents are artistic, you know, they just weren't doing, you know, theater or ballet or this or that growing up in Tuxedos, you know. So, you know, it's like, but, you know, I realized how artistic my mom is and how artistic my dad is and how much he loved movies and us watching John Wayne movies together, you know, and always just, you know, so it's one of those things where it's important, you know, if you do have an artistic mindset in whatever capacity, not to judge, you know, our parents for saying, hey, this is, well, what are you doing this? What are you thinking about this for? No, it's just something where, you know, they care about us. And, you know, if you really do want something in the artistic field, then plan for it. You know, don't just think, hey, I have to go be a struggling actor in New York or LA. You can, you know, have some sort of security and still pursue a life of, you know, art and and do it, in wherever you need to. So if anyone ever needs any advice or anything, I don't have much to offer, but I have my experiences, and more than happy to help out in any capacity I can.
That's really beautiful advice, because those are the things that hold us back, is, blaming our parents or feeling like, frustrated and letting that stop us. But that's wonderful.
No, we can't judge them about anything. Our parents are, at least I can only speak for
There are
myself.
people too, and they have their own experiences. Yeah, and they're familiar with what they're familiar. And as a parent myself, I can say I'm probably like messing up in so many ways, and that I don't know.
Not at all. Not at all. We're all just doing our best, right?
All doing our best. So thank you so much, Lamar, and thank you for joining us today, and have a wonderful time at your sister's wedding.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yep. God bless them. God bless their wedding. God bless them all. Thank you.
All right. Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.